So we have a drill that we call the flow drill at our school, and it helps with all of the hand positioning for the Kihon Happo Torte Goho Gata methods. Moteikyaku, Urigyaku, Onikadaki, Mushadori, and Gunseiki Nage. And there's different hand positions where your fingers and hands need to be in the exact right places to help lock joints and wrists and shoulders and everything else up. So we've designed this flow drill for this. So the flow drill starts with one person holding out their hands, the other person starts to grab and does a Moteikyaku, goes right into Urigyaku, goes into Onikadaki, then into Mushadori, and comes around into Gunseiki Nage. Moteikyaku, Urigyaku, Onikadaki, Mushadori, Gunseiki Nage. Another person does it. So what this is doing is it's causing repetition for the student to have their hands and their body starting to move in the exact right positions for these locks to be put on. It's not meant to be a practical application scenario of here's what I'm going to do, because nobody's just going to hold out their hand and let you take it in real life. They're going to be coming in and doing something else. But for getting this down, it's a great thing. Getting your hand positions correct, starting to learn how to use your body this time. He's taking more advanced steps. The next version, we put a hit in between each one. So as he does a Moteikyaku, he gives a hit somewhere with his foot, with his hand, with his body, headbutting, anything. We just try and get a touch in between so that we're starting to realize and open the student's mind up to different applications that can happen, so that we're not just trapped in one singular movement. We start to broaden our mind and know, hey, I can do things in between, so I'm not just tied into one technique in one particular way. We teach those at first that way for basics, but later on we go advanced. And that's where you want to start to bring your mind out. Awesome. So this flow drill is one thing that you should try and expand. We do it with weapons in our hands sometimes also. We put blindfolds on, eyes closed, whatever works. You want to just go with this and feel it out and see what you can make of it. If I have a knife and I'm going to, let's have him have a knife also, and he's attacking me, one of the ways to handle this is to attack the attacking limb. We're going to move, let's say he's coming in with one of the angles that we showed in the 9 basic cuts, and let's do a most common angle of a person just to come down and cut through. He's going to want to cut my neck. So one of the things I want to do immediately is move my body out of the way. Even if my first and second defense come and it misses, I've moved out of an angle. So angling, distancing, and timing with knife is a very interesting thing. If he comes and cuts across at my stomach level, he can touch me and cut me here. As soon as I move back, I'm out of that angle. But also to avoid this angle, if I push this knife angle from where he can cut me down, it misses me also. If I also pull it up, it misses me. But if it comes back at that same angle that he wanted to, it hits. So this is a minute angle of cutting that most people don't think about, is changing the elevation level of where the knife is. So these are some of the hidden angling, distancing, and timing aspects of knife fighting that most people don't think of. This is a great example of how to do redirection and passing with a knife. So we have this angle coming in. We already worked on attacking the attacking limb. Now let's work on, as soon as the attack starts to come in, to bring the knife up and redirect with that knife. So getting my attack to handle his immediately. So this is one drill that you guys should try. He's attacking on this side, I go to the outside of the arm and pass it. He attacks on the same side, I go to the inside of the arm and pass it. He comes on this side low, I take that angle and deflect it. He comes on that angle low, I use the other arm with the knife in it to deflect it. So my open hand can attack, deflect, my cutting edge hand can attack and deflect. Both of those are aspects of stopping the knife and redirecting. There are many different ways to do this. Knife on knife is a good way to practice that. So let's go ahead and show a couple more. And that gives you a couple different angles of knife on knife and defense. So now I'll show a little bit about defense with a double-edged knife. Paul has a double-edged knife here. That means both edges are cutting edges of that knife. Most people who are used to single-edged knife defense, you can't grab down on the top to strip this anymore because you'll be cutting your hand as you go through with this. So let's go off a straight stab. First thing I want to do is get myself out of the way. Now I know that I can't grab onto the bottom or top of this knife. Now I'm going to come in and try and attack maybe on the top of his hand to get this knife to twist in and do some different aspects of it, and then use taijutsu to do a takedown with this and strip the knife away. This is one takeaway with this knife. That aspect that Paul just showed was off of the Kihon Happo. That was a Mote Gyaku takeaway. Another aspect is to touch the top of the hand and then attack the arm that comes along with this to do a pry and to take away the weapon. So the takeaway that Paul just did on the ground is one that's worth showing in slow motion. After you've taken the person down on the ground, a lot of times people with a double-edged blade won't know how to get it out of the person's hand. One way to do this aspect would be to attack the hand itself until the hand lets go. But another really good way, once you're down on the ground, is to actually take the person's hand and slide it down the weapon so that it starts to cut his hand, and you basically cut the knife out of his hand by using the ground for this aspect. So this is a really good takeaway method with a double-edged knife. The last aspect of the knife that I'd like to go over is the targeting aspect. And these are targets on my opponent's body that I would actually use to help disable him. It depends on the situation of every situation, on what severity you're going to take it. We're going to deal with a life and death situation now. So these are prime targets that you would hit to help a person not be able to attack you anymore and possibly to take them down and take them out. You want to think of major arteries, wind, and veins in these scenarios, and also ligaments and tendons. Most of these would be in the neck area. You have major arteries and tendons and veins and ligaments and windpipe area in this area. So this is a very common area for people to attack. Also, the arms. So naturally, we have our arms come up when we're babies if you start to drop them, and there's a protection here. The outside of the arm has bones, doesn't have a lot of veins and arteries out here, so if you're cut on the back side of the arms, you can actually still close your hands and things like that, and there isn't major stuff. As soon as you turn to the inside, now you've done a whole bunch more damage. So cutting on the inside of the arm takes away the ability to close the fingers, and there's also veins that come down in here that you can bleed out with. Another section that isn't a good target are the ribs. They're there for protection of the internal organs, but down below the ribs in the stomach area, to enter in, you're going to start to hit organs and other parts of the body where you can hit arteries and veins also. So soft tissue targets in here. Moving down to the legs, the outside of the legs are pretty protected. You'll just get some muscle and things like that, but on the inside of the legs, which are harder to get to, is where there's also some major veins going back up in through the body. So these particular areas are just quick targets. They're pretty common sense. Most people know about them, but they're worth mentioning and going over in case you're in a worst case scenario and you need a place that you have to attack. So this is something for you to think about. And when practicing with your training weapons in the dojo, it's good to just go for actual target areas instead of just blindly cutting and not having sense to why you're doing your movement.